Yeah, no, this game is not good, guys. Hi everyone, my name is Nina Kaskar, or Miss Scarlet in the Study, and welcome to another episode of Blinded by Nostalgia. If you don't know what Blinded by Nostalgia is, it is a series that lives here on my channel where I take games and movies and entertainment from my childhood and review it as an adult. And today's topic is about a little game called My Fantasy Wedding, which I know a lot of people probably haven't heard of, but I thought this was the coolest game as a kid. So probably between the ages of 8 and 11, I would play this nonstop. I absolutely loved this game. I played it with friends, I played it with my sister, loved this game. The premise of the game is that you just design a wedding and that's it. So I didn't actually get this game just on its own. It came in a girl gaming pack, which had a Barbie game and a Hello Kitty game with it. That should kind of give you the vibe of what this game is about. The whole packaging, I just remember the packaging being very pink, and it was just designed for girls. And yeah, at the time, I was very much into those girl games. I played a lot of the Barbie games. I played a lot of the dress up and put on your makeup and look pretty and be a generic girl kind of thing, and I enjoyed doing those. I think now as an adult that obviously doesn't appeal to me, so I have a different opinion of this game now than I did back then. Okay, so let's get into this game. You start by picking out which bride you want to be or which bride you want to design your wedding for. Now this is actually one of the redeeming qualities of the game. You have, I believe, 4 or 5 different girls you can pick from, and they all had different skin tones and different hair color. And I also know later in the game you can change your hair color and change your hairstyle. And I think that was great for me at the time because a lot of the girl games that I played, so a lot of the Barbie type games were a lot of, you know, blonde hair, fair skin Barbie that you could play as, and I think that that's great that this game could give you options so that any girl could be a bride, any girl could see herself in this game. So I do think that that is a great thing about this game. It may be the only great thing about this game though. So before I get into anything, the entire game is kind of narrated by this girl who guides you through the game. She tells you her own anecdotes about weddings and fantasy and, you know, living your best life.
When do I get to meet him? I can't believe it's happening. We've talked about your wedding for so long. Are you ready to get started?
So you pick your bride, you pick your wedding venue, and then you go ahead and pick your bridesmaids. So you can fill your bridal party with whoever you like from the options given. The one thing I don't like about this whole selection menu of the brides is the narrator talking over it, because she tells you this weird story.
So many best friends. If you choose them all, nobody would be hurt. My sister was mad at her friend for months because she asked her to be a bridesmaid and then decided she really wanted someone else. So choose carefully.
And then you move on to the single funniest part of this game, where you get to play the Groom Game and pick your husband, because you're not planning a wedding because you found your soulmate and are getting married. You just feel like having a wedding, so you're gonna go and pick your groom now.
Are you tired of searching for that Mr. Right? Let us help you. Play the Groom Game and find the perfect man from our secret stable of gorgeous guys. Here are your cuties.
It starts this game show style dating game where you're given 4 men, and just based off of looks, you have to eliminate one of them. And that's not a very hard decision because the hair choices, they're not good. I'm looking at you, Brandon. After you've eliminated one of them, they tell you what all of them do for a living so that they can support you in your marriage, and you eliminate yet another man. So once you're down to 2 guys, they tell you their hobbies, and of those 2 guys, you are going to pick your husband. This was a hard decision because I didn't want either of them.
Congratulations! Mike is a doctor. On the weekends, he likes biking. That's all for today. We wish the happy couple the best.
I really remember remember in elementary school thinking that these men were the finest bachelors on earth and that I could pick any of them and they were all great choices. And then after you pick your groom, you get to pick his groomsmen. He doesn't get to do it. You get to pick the groomsmen. So just like the bridesmaids, you just select a random group of men that you'd like in your wedding party. Now, one feature they have when picking your wedding location, your bridesmaids, your groom, etc., they have this little button at the bottom with this scary looking old woman. And if you click that, it gives you the feature of just asking your mom to decide for you, which I don't really like. I think if they had put like a randomize button or something, I would have appreciated it more. While I trust my own mother to help me make wedding decisions, I do not trust this person. She scares me. So now we get into the bulk of the game, which is shopping in the mall. And apparently this mall just has shops only pertaining to weddings. There is a dress shop for your bridesmaids. There is a shop for your groomsmen and groom. There is a shop for your wedding dress. There is a shop for accessories and hair and makeup and flowers and the music that you play as you walk down the aisle. So there are all of these options. However, here's the catch. You only get a base number of options when designing any part of this wedding. You have to play mini games in order to unlock the better options. So I believe there are 6 mini games total in this game, all of which I hate. What can I say about these mini games? These were probably the most pointless and frustrating games I've ever played. So you have 6 games. Each game has 3 levels, and each level unlocks extra options within the shop. You can get extra makeup options or dress options or flower options. So the first game that I played was a picture matching game. Nothing crazy, nothing great about this. It's just memorizing pictures and matching them. And a story. The second game may be the worst thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. I don't really remember the pure agony of playing this game. Okay, here's the premise. You have a bunch of wedding presents on the table. You have to roll dice, and if you roll doubles, you can pick a present from the middle of the table. And you do this until time runs out. If you run out of presents before the time runs out, you get to steal presents from your bridesmaids' stacks. So as great as this game could possibly have been, I played this for 5 minutes listening to this.
I wanted that one. Oh, shoot. Oh, your turn. Too bad.
That's enough to drive anyone insane. I apologize to my parents who might have had to listen to this game in the other room with my speakers loud. I was ready to walk away right then. This game just kept going on, and if you think I was gonna play it 3 times, no, absolutely not. This is probably the worst part of the game. Worst, absolutely worst part of the game. And I think what just makes it so grating is the narrator talking throughout the game. There's no break in dialogue. She just keeps talking. So the next game is sending out wedding invitations. And because you're a slightly insane bride, you don't put the invitations in the mail. You stand across on the other side of the street and throw it at the mailman. So you have to throw individual invitations into the mailman who's pacing back and forth on the other side of the street and make sure you get it in his mailbag. I think this is just where the game developers ran out of wedding themed ideas for games. Now we get to the 4th game, which I don't understand. The premise of this game is that you're the bride and your bridesmaids believe that you got too many wedding gifts. So you have all of these bridesmaids that are going to invade your space onto your gift tables and steal your wedding presents. You as the bride have to throw bouquets of flowers at your bridesmaids to prevent them from stealing your gifts. I think it was at this point that I asked myself why I was playing this game. The 5th game was just a simple maze. You play a flower girl leading the bride to something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. But you gotta go through the maze without meeting up with the groom because it's bad luck. So you, as the flower girl, walk through this maze, dropping flower petals or trailing blood, I can't really tell, until the bride collects all 4 items that she needs. I actually think this might be one of the better mini games because it seems to pertain to the wedding theme. It's still fun. There's a little bit of a challenge. It's actually a game. So I'm not gonna complain too much about it. And the last game is nothing special. It's kind of like Tetris, and you have to fit the presents into the back of your car. I really don't like how most of the mini games focus on the presents you receive at a wedding, because I really don't think that's a good thing we should be teaching children. So after I finished all these mini games, I went to each of the stores and picked out my dress, my bridesmaid's dresses, my groom's outfit, groomsmen, my music, flowers, makeup, jewelry. Literally went the whole 9 yards. So once you're done designing the wedding, you just click on the little button at the bottom of the screen that says get married, and you get a little cutscene that has your whole wedding with all the things that you picked throughout the game. I'm going to insert my beautifully designed wedding right here.
Welcome to all. You are gathered here today to witness the union of these 2 people. Marriage is the joining of 2 lives into one. Remember that to marry is to form an equal partnership. Any burden you now bear, you bear together. This is not a bond to be entered into lightly. Your intent must be pure and deliberate. You are beginning a life journey with each other. Do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? I do? Do you take this man to be your lawfully...
Oh, I do!
So now we get into the question whether I was blinded by nostalgia, and that is absolutely heck yes, blinded by nostalgia. And I would even say that, you know, maybe little girls would find this fun, but I think that there's so many other good girl games out there. If you want to stay within that pink wedding Barbie type of game, there are so many others that are way better. This is not the least bit enriching or entertaining. I think what I really didn't like was some of the messages that they were giving to these girls playing the game is that, you know, only the presents at the wedding matter. And the narrator giving these really dumb anecdotes about jealousy and girls hating on girls, I don't think is appropriate. And I think if you just put it up against other Barbie games or dress-up games, this falls very short. I have very fond memories of this game, and I don't regret that. I just think that this is not a good game. And I've just got that nostalgia right over my eyes thinking this is a great game, and it's really not. If I'm looking at it unbiased, it's not. So let me know if you've actually heard of this game, if you played it, in the comments below, because I'm very curious if anyone had even known about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit subscribe so that you don't miss out on the rest of the Blinded by Nostalgia series. If you have a favorite game, TV show, or movie from your childhood that you'd like for me to review, leave it in the comments below and I'll let you know if you are blinded by nostalgia. Have a great rest of your day, my lovely people, and I'll see you next week.